We are a system integrator specialized in material handling. And today we will focus on our latest technologies like sorting in combination with robots and AMRs. And we also do a little bit of augmented reality today. But today we will focus on the robots in combination with the human being. And if you add that all up, it should be more than just the humans plus the robots. So if you look at the current solutions, you will see a lot of cross-belt sorters, tilt tray sorters, conveyors, tray sorters. And they all need manual induction and people around it, fortunately, because we still need people, of course, in the world. But the problem with a lot of personnel is that they can get ill, and we know that from the last 2 years with the COVID. And thanks God that we are through that period now, it looks like. But still, it's difficult to get the right number of people, and except from that they can get ill, they also ask more money today, of course, like we all do, including me, of course. If you put that all on top, then we have a couple of challenges to solve, of course, and I think we have the solution to do that, because where we have traditional systems with a lot of manual in-feed and a lot of manual out-feed, you also need to put away the roller cages to the docks and feed the systems with roller cages and pellets, etc. So if you have hybrid systems there, you could combine your existing systems, which are perfectly okay still. But if you combine those with automated in-feed from robots and automated out-feed with AMR, I'll explain that later on. And if you combine that, then you have the perfect solution for the coming years. And a lot of times people try to solve everything with either robots or with sorters, but I think that the combination is in those two areas. So today I'll show you some possibilities. Here you see a sorter with manual in and out feed, and as you can see, it's just an example. There you see 8 people inducting the items on the belt. We do around 10,000 with this sorter. Then we identified, we have some exception handling, and then you have the takeaway by another 4 operators. So in total you need about 13 operators to operate this sorter. How the sorter works, I'll show you in video number 1. So this is just an example. We have lots of sorted times. So we can drop in roller cages. Here you see the typical sorter with the automatic in-feed, but still people are needed to feed those items. It's used in parcel, e-commerce and fashion. And then you can extend it in 1 day if you need more stations. And we can drop into all kind of media and detect all the parcels with vision technology, 6-side scanning. But that's just to give you an example. So let's move on to the next one, because we have only 15 minutes today, so we need to go a little bit ahead. So the hybrid solution example here is where you only need 2 persons to operate the same system. At the beginning you will see the tippers and AMR robots. AMR stands for Autonomous Mobile Robots. They will bring the roller cages or pallet boxes to the in-feed, and then we will tip them automatically onto a belt. And from the belt with robots we can take the items one by one based on artificial intelligence. So it's with deep learning, we know exactly what is a parcel and what is not a parcel. And there's a big database behind it to detect those parcels. Then we will induct them onto a belt, and then the same sorter But now we take away the items with AMRs again. So we can use the same AMRs to take away the roller cages which are full, replace them by an empty one, and then they could pick up another roller cage at the dock and bring them to the feeding point. So this is a good example of a hybrid solution between those two technologies. And then in this movie you can see how that looks like. So here at the beginning you see the AMRs are bringing the roller cages to the tippers, from the tippers to a pedal belt, and from the pedal belt we create a one layer, and from the one layer we can now pick the items one by one with the robots, and each robot will do about 1200, 1500 items per hour, and then we will bring them onto the sorter and they will drop it into the roller cage, and from the roller cage again with the AMR to the dock. So yeah, that's a good example of how you could solve such a solution. Now of course, you have all different warehouses, different processes, so they'll look different in your situation, of course. So then we move on to the rest of the presentation. Now, another area where you will see a lot of robots these days is robot in-feed. Robot in-feed could be done with cobots, co-operative robots. They could stand next to the personnel who are feeding by hand, and they're quite safe to operate, but therefore also a little bit slower, only 400 per hour. We can see that in the next video. So it's only 400 per hour, but you could put them next to the operators which are actually feeding, and they're a lot less expensive than the next one we will see. So we can stop this video and move on. Then the next one is up to 1500 per hour, and that will be shown in the next video. So this is a development which took a couple of years because there's a lot of work behind it which you don't see. It's especially the database, how to define what is a parcel and what is not a parcel. So we use it now for parcel industry. It will come for fashion as well now. And especially the weak envelopes, the poly bags. They're a little bit more difficult to grip. But here the actual speed is 1500 per hour. And we can eat from a belt or from the roller cage directly. So you already saw a small movie with the combination of robots, and here you see how it works. So you have the chute, the belt itself, the robot arms, and the in-feed belt and the operator. And then it looks like this, and we also have a small video for that. So that's the next one, yeah. So here you can see the robots will pick them from a belt. All the items which were not able to be picked up, they will move by that small belt to the belt below, and they will end up at a manual operator over here. So we still need people, of course, to do it, but we moved from 12 to 1 now in this application. And from there we move on to the sorter. It could be any type again. So that's another possibility to have the outfeeds of the sorters with robots, AMRs. We have different types here. You have types that could go underneath the roller cage or pellet box or whatever medium you have. Or we have the tugger. So if it's not possible to put your AMR underneath, we will put it on the side, or we will tug the roller cage. It depends on the type of medium you have in your facility. Another area where we use a lot of AMRs these days is a combination of a sorter and AMRs. Could you imagine that you have a sorter, the one you have just seen, and now the exit is not a pellet box or roller cage, it is just a chute, and the chute drops the item to a robot, AMR, and the AMR will bring it to another place in the island over there. This is especially used for returns technology, for instance, where you need a lot of exits, like 800 or 1000 or maybe 2000 exits, which is almost impossible to do it with a normal sorter. It will take huge amount of space. And here we can do it with the AMR. So it's an extension of your robot, of your sorter, of course. And then, of course, you have the robots palletizing your boxes from the stations one by one onto the pallet. That's what we do in Belgium. And these are the AMR robots with the belts on top. We have them single, double. And here you can see in the graphic how it works. So you could have automated induction, like here. You could have manual induction, like that one on the top. You could drop into pallet boxes, or you could drop onto roller chutes. And whenever an AMR is stopped, that never happens, of course. If it does, then you can simply go into the area, take out the robot, and do whatever you need to do to make it run again. So, yeah, it's a very efficient way. It takes some space, of course, the AMRs, and you need to look carefully if you need a sorter or an AMR system or a combination. And here you see 4 possible solutions. On the top left, it's for an electronic retailer, a big one, where we drop the items like iPhones and fragile items into a tote, a plastic tote, and the microwaves and the coffee machines of 15 kilos up to 20 kilos, they go onto the roller chute. If the tote is full, you just put it on the roller conveyor, and then we could put it onto a pallet. On the top right, you will see a solution where we sort to different areas, in this case 2. We do a pre-sort, and then each area will take a certain number of pieces per hour. On the the bottom left, we have an ASRS system, like AutoStore or a Mini-Load, and the picking stations are coupled with the AMR robots to the correct packing stations, because if you are a 3PL company, for instance, and you have multiple customers, you have your dedicated packaging material at each packing station. With the pre-printed cardboards, for instance. It also could be automated packing lines, of course. And at the bottom right, you will see a solution where we have the classic infeed in the middle and then 80 exits on roller chutes. So you can play a lot with these, and it's never a same day. It's always different, the solution, and that's what makes it so nice to play with these robots.